So let's go ahead and move forward. You can see on our slide that we have our guest speaker today is Beth McKinney, and she is from the school district U-46, which is in Elgin, Illinois. And very timely, we have asked Beth to come and talk to us about what she's doing to prep her teams for, and I'll let her tell you how many schools and how many people for Summer Institute. So what are they doing? Are they registering already? How does she know who to register for what COP and that sort of thing? So let's go ahead and we'll let her give her a second to share her screen, and then the speaker will be yours, Beth.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me here today. As I was listening to the other educators in my breakout group, it sounds like many of us have been spending time this last week or two registering our staff to attend Summer Institute. And many of us are looking to attend in Chicago, which is what we've been planning for. So it's nice to be sharing that work with all of you. My name again is Beth McKinney, and I'm with Elgin Public Schools, which is a large suburban district with kind of an urban feel sometimes in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. We have over 50 schools in our district, and this is my second year as the district director working in a post-secondary success department in U-46. When I started, we had AVID elective with varying degrees of school-wide AVID implementation in 5 high schools and 8 middle schools. My second year, we added AVID implementation in 1 elementary school. And next year, we are expanding to 2 more elementary schools and also adding a alternative high school, which is an interesting experiment as well. We have been planning for Summer Institute since we heard it was going to be in Chicago, which actually happened for us at the Denver Summer Institute. Last summer, I attended 3 Summer Institutes the way things worked out. We make it a priority for me to attend anytime we have site teams attending. And when we're traveling, we offer our site teams 2 different options. We ask site teams to travel together, and we say, okay, if you're coming from a high school, choose which of these 2 options you want, and then I join them at that Summer Institute so that we can really make use of that afternoon site team time. And I heard some of my colleagues in the breakout session just now talking about that breakout time. And that's really the reason that I like to be part of any Summer Institute experiences that coordinators and educators and administrators are having in our district, because I feel like our chance to get away from the busyness of our buildings in the summer and take what we're learning in our COPs in the morning and start thinking and working and planning in the summer is absolutely incredible. So as soon as we knew about the July dates in Chicago, we started advocating with our district instructional leadership team of assistant superintendents and executive directors to keep the dates open so that we could take a large group of educators to the Chicago Summer Institute. So that has been pretty successful for us, and we're very excited to be taking people and to be having, looking forward to seeing so many of you guys there. So this is how we approach Summer Institute, and maybe you guys do it the same way. We feel like it's necessary for our capacity. We have to have trained teachers for AVID. Understanding how to implement AVID strategies in that elective is just really essential, and teachers need that from AVID staff developers, and we love getting that in person and in a room full of other educators who are experiencing it together. So we feel like doing this as a group is so wonderful. And we also feel like there's such a value in bringing other staff with us so that they can see how they can implement AVID strategies and that framework in other places in the building, so that we're thinking about the elective in our middle and high schools, and we're also thinking, where else can AVID help us reach our district goals? Our district has already told us what our goals are for next year, so we're in a spot where we can be thinking, okay, where's AVID going to help us? How can AVID help lift up our classrooms to be more rigorous? And where can we help our district in reaching their goals using AVID? So if we don't bring staff to that Summer Institute, they are going to have as much knowledge and as much skill as if they're there to learn. And like I said, I think that time together is just priceless, because our ability to spend those afternoons working together is just, it's golden. We're so busy during the school year. I'm constantly having people come late to meetings and duck out of meetings and get distracted by emails. And they are wonderful people who do their best to be present in those meetings. But in Summer Institute, we're just so focused. I also really like to see site teams working at Summer Institute. And this is where we're doing so much goal setting and thinking about our action steps so that our goals aren't just living in this world of theoretical great ideas, but that we're really thinking about who's going to be involved in these goals and how are we going to actually implement these things. Do we need to start getting dates on calendars? Do we need to start preparing presentations? Are we going to look at our APLNs? Are we going to need to do some negotiating in the building? Are there other people that need to come help with this? Whatever those action steps entail, if we wait, it's harder and harder to implement those things. So the time in the summer is really priceless to us. The advanced planning is really helpful to us. So we have been thinking all year about who do we need to bring onto our site teams and bring to Summer Institute. So we're looking on our site teams to think about departments that aren't represented so that we have diverse site teams in terms of many types of diversity, including core subject areas, so that we don't have site teams that are just made up of people from the department of the site coordinator or the English department or the math department, but we have people who represent all different parts of the building, and they can talk about what's happening in those departments and start to support the work in their areas. I also like to think about the leaders, the named leaders and the unnamed leaders. So our principals coming to Summer Institute is something we are really, really working towards this year. Some of you here, I know, are principals. In our district, principals have a lot of responsibilities and they're going to multiple conferences. They have so many things on their plate. But we know that AVID is a way that's going to help bring all of that together, and that without understanding AVID and having that professional development through AVID, and without being there to support their site teamwork in the summer, that they're going to really be behind and not be able to do the work as effectively. So those named leaders of principals are really important to the work. But I also encourage teams to look at the people in their building who are influential and who might be able to influence other people, whether it's on the third grade team or in the science department. Our schools have school improvement teams. Some of our schools have Illinois Empowerment Grants, so they have what they call SILT teams, if you're familiar with those in Illinois. And our schools have something called school department. All of those building leadership teams, we work really hard to have our AVID leads or someone from our AVID site team be part of that. And we look to take people who are part of those groups and encourage them to be part of our AVID summer learning so that we're consistently integrating our work either ways. In terms of professional development, I feel like Summer Institute is really just part of a year-long professional development plan. So right now, I'm thinking about how I'm going to end this school year strong, looking at what we can from our data plan and our CCI, and using that to flow into our summer learning. So we're going to be encouraging and working with our site teams at both the elementary, middle, and high school levels to have them understand where they feel like they are strong in their implementation of AVID and where their CCI reveals some gaps and where they might look at focusing some of their work, and then also looking at what are some district goals and how can we use AVID to meet some of those goals. And then start looking at month by month, what are ways we're going to implement AVID goals and what are our action plans for those. We also, and I got this idea, honestly, at my first national conference a couple of years ago. I was listening to some district directors. I think they were from Tucson, but I've heard so many great district directors. I apologize if that's not the case. But they talked about how they complemented their summer institute work with some district work in the summer when they returned. And I did that last summer. We attended our summer institutes largely in June. I went with one group in July, but for those groups that attended in June, we had a summer day in July to follow up on that work and kind of pull everything together. And I found that to be really beneficial. Some teams alternate who attends year to year, so we don't have a full team at Summer Institute. It also was a chance to do some sharing of exemplar work. So we had some students come in from a student advisory group and talk to all the site teams in the summer and say, here's what we do as student advisors at the high school. And they shared examples of organizing service projects, visiting the middle schools and leading tutorial groups. And it inspired other site teams to think about how they might develop student leaders through AVID the way one of the sites had. I've also had teachers share strategies for creating really engaging field trips. We do a lot. We try to do at least 2 at each site of a college visit every year. And we do lots of tours with these really great undergraduates who give tours on campuses. We love those kids. But sometimes I think it can be really valuable to try something different. And some of our teachers in the middle school develop some really smart, engaging scavenger hunts where students even planned ahead, they used maps, and they worked in groups to explore a college campus before they visited. So I use the time in the summer to try to have my teams share out that information. Our district is very big. We're looking at 14, 15, 16 sites. And while that work can be hard to align sometimes, and we're always looking right at those adult behaviors on the framework, align the work can be tricky. It's also like this gift because we have all these strong people working in these pockets, and to bring them together in the summer is a great opportunity to share the very best of what they're doing. So as we're coming out or into Summer Institute, we try to use some time here in our district to also work together. So as I'm aligning our district work to AVID, I'm using AVID, looking at the way the district goals are being met through AVID strategies, what the data is telling us, and trying to connect that work together. Does anyone have any questions about our approach to Summer Institute?
Okay. It's kind of a bit of a wait time, but please feel free. We're going to take some time now to Beth to allow people to go into breakout rooms and sort of debrief some of what they've heard. And so we're going to go ahead and move to that. And then we'll come back and hear kind of what some people's ahas have been.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here today. We appreciate hearing your perspective on what you do in your size district. And I'm, thinking that everybody's not going to do everything that you do. What you have there is almost like a 3 to 5 year plan, but it's not going to be applicable for everybody. But what I'm hoping is that everybody will be able to take something away from that. So thank you again, Beth, for being here.
Sure.
Derek, if you want to put your screen back up. And then Brent is going to put people back into the same breakout rooms that you were in before, so you don't have to take the time to introduce yourselves again, because it's going to be the same people. I know we had a couple of people join us after we were already in the breakout rooms, so those people might want to make a short introduction. What we're going to do now is just kind of talk about what our impressions were of what Beth said, like, oh, wow, I never really thought about, making sure that there was somebody from a leader that wasn't an identified leader in the building. Again, we're going to have our cameras on. And then when you come back from this, we're going to do, I think we've got larger groups. So let's go 10 minutes because I think we've got the time to do that, Brent, unless you've already set it for 6. And then just look, I will copy and paste these and put them in the chat, these prompts, so that you can have them again.
I have it set for 10.
Oh, you do? Thank you so much.
All right, just let me know when you're ready.
All right, I am just going to drop this back in the chat again. I think sometimes that's helpful for people, even though we're not going to grade you on what you talk about in your breakout room. But yeah, we're ready, Brent. Thank you.
Thank you, Brent. Looks like we've still got a few people here. I didn't think you wanted us in the breakout room, but so I came back
We kind of gave people the choice.
on our team. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're fine.
Welcome
Right.
back.
Got to send the new people into new rooms because they weren't automatically assigned. So I just did that.
Good job.
Thank you.
Finally got tickets.
Mission accomplished.
Well, I'm still paying. We'll see if it goes through.
Do we use the recording for anything? If so, do we want to pause it for now?
I'll trim it down to just the presentation.
Okay. We talk weather? Should we compare notes? It is 1 degree here. It feels
5
with the
degrees.
wind chill, it's negative 18.
Oh my gosh.
Staying inside.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have snow yesterday, Rachel, on your drive down?
No, we flew.
Oh, you
Julie
flew.
and I flew. Yeah, I'm driving next weekend.
The most snow I've seen in my life.
Well, it's been the snowiest season, right? Of just several snow events for me in a while.
Mm.
How much snow is there right now there, Derek? Is it significant?
Yeah, it's a pretty good amount. Yeah.
Did you get a shovel yet?
I have a shovel. Yes. Yep.
The nice thing when
Fun
it's this
times.
cold is that it might not be icy. So it'll be easy to move the snow off. It won't be like it was last time because it's
Yeah, it
so
is.
cold.
Yeah, then once after a while, it just turns into ice. Like,
That's why you want
not
to do it while
fun.
it's super cold. Maybe not this
Yeah.
cold, but maybe 20 degrees, you know.
Get it out of the way.
And the salt doesn't work on ice when it's below zero.
Right.
Okay.
What significantly? Like we have negative 20 to negative 30, which is why Freeport didn't have school today. So that's the wind.
I have 2 little workers that need to get out there and take care of that. So
We've got another showcase on Thursday, and that's supposed to be the coldest day.
wow.
So we'll see.
Hopefully your hotel is warm. Hopefully you're at a Hilton Garden Inn so you can eat in if you need to.
Well, Julie and I stopped at the grocery store because
Oh, you
just
did?
in case, yeah.
Good.
And we're at a DoubleTree. Oh, I'm gonna go take a picture of it real quick because the pool is in the lobby. So
Oh,
That's interesting.
that's interesting.
I just opened my blinds all the way because there is a little bit of a line with windows at the very top, but my window faces in like an Embassy Suites, but I don't have an external facing window at all.
Oh,
It's interesting.
so do you look at on the pool?
Yeah.
That's a little creepy.
Yeah.
Julie was like, I don't think I would go to a pool. Like, that's weird.
Everyone's watching.
Right. But they have
Yeah.
like
Just have that
lounge
fear.
chairs. They have chairs where you can like lay out too. Like, that's weird. It's just interesting. It's so unique.
Cindy, did a good bit of your peeps join?
I had 3,
Okay.
so that's not too bad.
Yeah. I'm excited. I see a good bit of my folks in
Mhm.
here. Girl Suzanne, Dr. Jackson,
Yep. Kyle.
Kyle, yep.
Bradley is one of yours?
Yes. Yep.
He looked familiar. Where is he from, Derek?
Well, Ferguson, Florissant, but he's a brand new DD. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, you may not have met him. He
He might have
replaced
been in
Charlie.
another district too. So
Uh,
Could be.
him from Waynesville, she's in here. Sean from Peoria.
I saw Sean. Yeah.
Amanda, she's from Columbia.
Good group for a day like today.
Yeah. Jessica from Urbana. Awesome. How's Flossmore doing?
So
Arlene.
they're hosting the Principals Collaborative.
That's awesome.
Yep. And Arlene was signed up to go to our AVID elective teacher workshop that was canceled last week because of
Of
weather.
course.
postponed.
Postpone.
Yes, it is already rescheduled for the week of the Principals Collaborative. So I'm going to do site visits and invite Amabel to go with me.
Have you spoken to her?
Nope.
Wow. Wow.
But like her people are doing some stuff. So I feel
Yeah.
like the fact that I'm going to physically be there, I'm, just going to say, hey, I'm going to visit sites. Why don't you join me?
Tell Arlene I said hi.
I will. She's great.
Yes, she is.
She's doing certified educators.
Oh, awesome.
Hmm.
Well, she's gonna enjoy that.
I think she will.
Yeah.
And it'll be the collaboration that she's seeking. So that'll be nice.
Yep. That is awesome. Some good news for her.
Hmm.
It's just sad those situations like that because she was almost in tears just because she wants it to be successful, but not having that support.
Hmm.
Right? Good, good, good. Sounds like some good things happening.
Yeah.
What's the principal's name there?
Ursula Paris.
Ursula.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, their site team is great.
It's just
From a school in Florida that had strong AVID systems, so she was ready to jump right in, and the AP is involved, and the instructional coaches.
nice. Oh, that's just Amabel. Good job, Cindy.
We do what we
Yeah.
can.
How much time do we have?
I was just
We
wondering
have
that.
26 seconds.
Mm. Then
And
I will.
I think it counts down. 30 seconds or something. I'm going to just ask for a couple of takeaways if anybody has any takeaways.
Okay.
Any connections you wanted to make to the content that what she said that you wanted to hone in on?
I kind of want people to make their own. I don't want to do it for them. Do you think that's wrong?
Well, that's good. I was thinking maybe just having some available afterwards. That's all. But people are coming back now.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
We're in the middle of a conversation. I hit the wrong button, but that's okay. I'll connect with
Everybody was coming
Jesse and
back. I don't think it was your fault. I think it was the session ended, the
okay.
breakout room ended.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think our magic button pulled you all back. So thank you for coming back. And I know Bradley's room had a good conversation. I hope the other breakout rooms did too. Oh, 4 district facilitators in Micah's room, or in Micah's district, I guess. Anybody want to, we have time, I think, for 1 or 2 or 3 maybe debriefs or wonderings or something that you wanted to share with the whole group that you talked about in your breakout room. Go ahead and if you'd like to unmute and share with us. Not to call you up. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. We were kind of in the middle of a conversation about our regional director manager coming in and providing training. So one of our group members was struggling to find funding to send people to Summer Institute. So I was hoping maybe you could talk a little bit more. Again, I'm only in year 3. What kind of trainings do our program managers do? How can they come in and assist and give us some good training for our site teams if we can't afford to send people out to Summer Institute and National Conference?
Okay, great question, Tori. All sorts of things. So tell me where you're located, what state?
I'm in Missouri. Derek is the gentleman who works with us. For Waynesville School District. But I noticed my friend Steve, who's in Chicago, has some funding issues. And I got to thinking about that. One of these days, I'm going to have funding issues and not be able to send everybody. How can I get some training for my people?
I love that. So I'm going to kind of start large and go smaller. So if the barrier is the travel to go into somewhere like Chicago or Dallas or something like that, you could bring in a path training to your district, which is the same content, brings in facilitators. It's 2 days instead of 3 because it doesn't have the site team time, but it's that same 12 hours of content. So you could do that. It's so you're getting rid of the cost for the travel and the lodging and that sort of thing. There are also AVID professional learning modules, which you may or may not be familiar with. Derek, do you want to share that part of the screen?
Yes, I can share that.
Log into my AVID.
Yep.
And so you can have people in your district trained to do those. And Derek's going to have to log into my AVID.
Of course.
This is our favorite thing about AVID. So you go under the resources, and it's the AVID Professional. Thank you for doing this. AVID Professional Learning Modules Library. And if you scroll down, there's like whatever content you're interested in. So there's all the elements of Wicker there for sure. But if you really want to dig into stuff with your site team or the AVID elective or things like that, you won't have that new modules internal. But everything else there you would have access to as the AVID district director. There is a course where you can train people in your district, and they can deliver those trainings. So it's pretty nicely packaged for you. It's got the syllabus, the PowerPoint, the handouts are already packaged for you in a nice way. Maybe just click on one of those, Derek, so they can see what that's like. And so everyone in your district will be able to see this menu, but they won't have access to all of the resources like the district director would do, or someone trained as an AVID professional module facilitator. And then there's things like tutor training. If you've got something specific that you're thinking about, I don't know your goals, Tori, but that you want to have a conversation with Derek about, we do have some things that we can bring in and do. You could host a principals collaborative. You could host a site team workshop. What am I forgetting, team? DD workshop. Things like that where you could get training to be brought in to you. But have the conversation definitely with Derek, and he'll be able to, the menu is kind of large, so he'll be able to help steer you into the right direction.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for the question. Anybody else have a question? Anybody else have a takeaway? Yes. Oh, thanks, Frankie, for bringing that up. Tori.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just dropped that in the chat.
Yes, that's important. So when you're filling out your CCI, how many trained educators do you have in your building? If you get to 12 hours, you are considered trained. So if your math teacher takes APLMs that add up to the 12 hours, then that person is considered trained, even if they haven't been to Summer Institute. So thanks, Frankie. Appreciate that. Well, I just want to say thank you again to Beth for sharing what they do in her district. And while her district might not look like yours, I hope that you all had some takeaways. And there is our team underneath the picture of Beth with her contact information. So whoever your implementation strategist is, we are all listed there. Please feel free to reach out to us. And then we would love it if you would kind of help us to understand. So we have one more of these AVID co-ops coming up in April, and it will be on April 8th, same time, same Zoom channel. And so we would love for you to have us join us then, but let us know, like in the evaluation, tell us what is it that we're doing that's been helpful today, and what is it that you need that maybe we could dive into for next month or next sessions. If your QR code isn't working, you can always just type in that link at the bottom there. Thank you, Derek.
It should be LNY.
Well, thanks for joining us. Everybody stay
you.
warm, and we'll stay on for a few minutes. If anybody's got any other questions, feel free to unmute and just ask away. But it was great to see everybody here today.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Stay warm.